right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone for season 9, episode 3. We're basically the longest running podcast, period. No,
Ever.
Basketball podcast. That hardcore history has been going for forever.
We are the longest continuously running breakfast themed basketball podcast.
We honestly might be the longest continuously running the longest continuously running basketball podcast that hasn't changed its name.
Right.
How about that, Bill Simmons?
Yeah. Take
no
that.
longer the BS report.
Take that.
No
Basketball
dunks,
Jones.
Basketball Jones. Anyways, I'm here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. The voice you hear right there, that was Chuck Anderson.
Hey, Joe Rogan.
Keith also here
Bill Simmons
with John Burr.
That makes me the world's saddest, fattest Adam Carolla.
That's you.
When do I go right wing and start making that money?
Yeah, any moment now. We're waiting.
Not far
Most
from
people quit podcasting when they don't make money. Not us. No, we just keep going.
I do it.
Keep slamming into a brick wall, despite being told no over and over and over.
I do this job for like any podcaster, for the frustration.
That's
right.
What
I need to be frustrated in life. And that's what this
we've
provides
applied
me.
many times for better positions, and after carefully reviewing our portfolio, we're not the right fit at the right time.
No.
But yet we press on. Breakfast, gentlemen. What breakfasts have we had? John, your initial interaction on this show when you said you were the saddest, I would put the energy level at less than 1 on a scale of 10.
I'm ill. I'm powering through. What's my flu game?
What'd you have for breakfast?
An assortment of fruits. I'm into plums. I finally learned what makes a good plum. It's taken me about 2 months to just discover that you want the firm plums. You don't want the mushy plums. It's not an avocado, John. Stop eating the mushy plums.
Yep.
Throw those in the garbage. I like a nice firm plum. There's different kinds of plums. Apricot plums are our new favorites, which I think have a special name, but I'm not going to say it because it sounds like a lady part.
I've never heard of an apricot plum.
They're good.
Or an apricot plum, depending on where you're from.
Little more tart, but plum I think is top tier fruit now for me.
Whoa.
Just above raspberries.
Oh, okay.
Solid.
But, below cherries. I'm still cherries all the way.
Is there a way to get raspberries that from a grocery store that will last more than 20 to 22 hours?
No, here's the deal. When you buy raspberries, you're creating a loophole in time where you will forget that the raspberries exist no matter how important that raspberry is to you at that moment. You will forget the raspberries exist until they turn to mush.
You're supposed to eat them on the way home.
Is that what it is?
You're
supposed to go to a farmer's market probably and eat them on the way home.
Car fruit is an important.
All berries that have small corpuscles of flavor. Those are my favorite.
Corpuscles.
I like the ones. The raspberries also hit this mark where, like, you can see when they're falling apart and they're going to be totally mushy. But before they hit that point, they still look normal, but they're actually incredibly mushy to the touch. So you're like, oh no. And it just collapses under your fingers. And it's just it's gross red paste. Not even right for a smoothie.
Can't smooth it out.
Raspberries. If I ever finish the container, it would be the first time without, because they're always like, oh my God, these guys turn fast. Can't finish that.
A thing of raspberries is basically a time machine to whenever they've gone bad.
Right.
If you're ever having a bad time and you need to get through the next few days, go buy some raspberries, blackberries. You're good.
Wormhole your way through.
Can you guys pick out strawberries? Because I've
gotten amazing at it.
Can you give me some pointers? Because I'm about to go through divorce proceedings over my inability to pick out strawberries. So, I'm not even allowed to buy them anymore.
So first of all,
they all look the same.
When I was a kid, strawberry was like the most decadent treat ever. We didn't have strawberries. I don't know if it was we didn't have the money to buy strawberries. Were strawberries not at the grocery store back in the 80s? I don't know what was. But
you're like the small child in the post-apocalyptic future that every sci-fi movie has, where it's like they unveil what you think is going to be gold, and it's just strawberry.
Yeah, it's one strawberry. So. But nowadays, fast forward to my adulthood, having my children, we buy so many strawberries, constant strawberries
all day.
Like every single time we go to the store, we're getting strawberries because that's like our kids. That's what they're going to eat. And I guess it's good for them. I don't know. But sure. I have gotten amazing at it. I don't know, John, you pick up the little plastic container, you look at the bottom.
Look at the bottom.
Of course. Well, the bottom is where all the moldy, mushy things, you look at the bottom and you just try to see like, all right, these guys have very similar to a raspberry. These guys on the bottom have maybe 12 hours left in them. So you buy that one. And then here's the thing. You eat the bottom ones first. You dig down, get those bottom berries out.
Okay.
Because the ones on top always they look fine. But yeah, if you're not careful, those ones on the bottom, or you might have a hidden moldy mush at the bottom if you're not careful. Yeah, you gotta pick up that little plastic pack, look at the bottom, and assess what you're working with.
Mm-hmm. Seems foolproof.
Works for me.
I guess.
Also, that seemed really apparently obvious to me, much like when I was shopping for eggs, and my wife, who doesn't have much confidence in me to do anything, she was like, "Do you know how to shop for eggs?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you check and see if they're not broken." I'm like, "Yeah, I knew that much. I thought I had to handle her. Clearly, you open up and
keeps
make sure
over
they're
here
not
dumping eggs for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
holding them up
I'm
to
doing
a
the
light.
avocado press. Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, I broke this one." I'm pressing the thumb down. Chuck, what was your breakfast?
I woke up like 5 minutes ago, so I didn't get breakfast. But the other day, I had some prosciutto and I fried it like bacon.
Can I get a Tony Soprano pronunciation of that, please?
Prosciutto.
Prosciutto.
Some gabagool.
Are you allowed to?
So it was just the thing we did for breakfast. Wow. So it was there. I was like, let's fry this thing up.
Where are we in your vegan life cycle right now? What is happening?
We're at the top of the circle. We haven't gone back down into it.
Right. Well, if you could tell, I hosted a Halloween party the other night.
Oh, is that what we're calling it?
That's all sorts of
euphemism, but all right.
There's decorations behind me. There's some, gauze that looks like blood.
Any sexy costumes?
Eyes wide shut masks.
There was a sexy hamburglar. Sexy hamburglar. That was
was it a hamburglar or a careful with horizontal stripes? I can go hamburglar very easy if I don't play my cards right.
Yeah, there was two poison ivies. It was great. It was a great party. But we
call that poison's ivy.
Poison's ivy. Jaden poison's ivy. And then we had a cheese head.
I'm sorry, Chuck. I gotta stop you. I gotta write that down. I love Jaden Poison Ivy. I'm sorry.
Jaden Poison Ivy. My girlfriend made a cheese head that looked like a face with eyeballs, and then we covered it with prosciutto, so it looked like a flayed skin.
Is that Mac Knight? What was that horrifying McDonald's Moon Man?
Oh yes, Mac Knight. But when we hosted the party, I put this movie on. We wanted to play a scary movie that was weird in the background, so I played a movie called Evil Tunes. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
So David Carradine is in it.
Nice.
The first scene of the movie, David Carradine is possessed by a demon in a book that looks like a butthole, and then he takes the book that looks like a butthole to a basement. In the basement is a noose. He walks up to the noose and puts it around his head and hangs himself in the first scene of this movie. And I don't know why I've never heard of it, considering that's how David Carradine died.
No, David Carradine died doing that while masturbating.
Oh yes, there was also in the movie you only saw from the bottom up, so you don't know exactly
the book bottom or the actual bottom.
Gotta have a lemon. Gotta have a lemon.
There's a lemon, but it was an incredible movie that is borderline porn. It's one of those 80s movies that
good for the party.
It was for the party. I wanted to have just some boobs in the background.
So there is that's a genre, the Butthole Demon Book. That's a genre of horror movie.
Is it? The Death Hold? The Dark Hold?
Pretty much everything. Well, Dark Hold, that's That's a good name for a Butthole Demon book, honestly. But I think it starts with the Evil Dead movies, and then that was kind of a thing for a while. And I think that's a mark of quality.
We should watch.
If the prop department has gone to the trouble to make a demon butthole book,
I'm surprised.
Probably pretty good.
I'm surprised, Chuck, you just found a movie that John had never heard of, which is
what's going on here?
An amazing accomplishment.
I'm so proud of myself. With an actor in it, with a scene that is
with a known name actor.
There's ephemera in there too.
My breakfast. We're recording on Sunday. We don't normally record on Sunday, so that means my donuts are not days old. They're fresh. I got them today.
Hey now.
From had the salted brown butter from East Park Donuts. Also, there seemed to be a fire next door to the East Park, and there
were Greco
like 14 fire trucks. So this
which side?
Salted brown butter. It wasn't like a restaurant. I don't know what it was. It wasn't, but it was like
my favorite restaurant is next to East Park.
This salted brown butter maybe had a little tinge of smoky after flavor. So it was nice little extra depth of flavor there. Anyways, those were our breakfasts. After our breakfasts, we move on to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong in any previous episode. I have a bevy of apologies. I'll start with this. On the episode with Ben Golliver, where we were talking about, which NBA player has the most juice or the least juice to get a sibling to be added to his team. Like LaMelo Ball got LiAngelo a contract. Evan Mobley got his brother Isaiah Mobley a contract. Lots of people reached out to say the correct answer to this that you guys omitted is Chris Smith, brother of J.R. Smith, got a spot on the opening night roster when he was on the Knicks. Chris Smith had no business being on the opening night roster. So the answer to that question was J.R. Smith. I'll come back to some other apologies.
What about Zoran Dragic?
Zoran Dragic is another pretty good one.
Yeah.
For Goran Dragic. But Goran was like almost semi-all-star at one point.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Zoran got his way into the league.
Goran had an all-NBA team, I think. Maybe second or third.
I mean, Mo Wagner got his younger brother Franz in the league. What kind of clout is that? No, John, what do you got to make right from episodes past?
So last week, my Eastern Conference tabulations, numerations involved 3 teams tied at 55 wins and 4 teams tied with 48 wins.
Okay. I didn't keep track of your numbers. I did.
Deeply
people asked us to record Chuck's numbers to see if they added up to the right number, but Chuck unfortunately only said numbers every now and then. It's not, by the way, it's not Chuck's job to say numbers. His job is to say over under, and that's all.
That's it.
So it's not that's not his job. So
well, maybe it shouldn't be my job either, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to have 7-way ties for first and second in the Eastern Conference. So
no, I don't think there's anything wrong.
Let's just focus on the overs and unders and less on the numbers there, folks.
I when doing my tabulations, I did a lot of throw my hands up in the air, and all you folks, 52 wins.
Yes.
Like I don't know. All you folks not there.
This tier.
Your tier, you're the 34 win tier. Sorry.
It's very clear that when I think you're an elite team, but I don't know if you're going to try that hard all throughout the regular season, I'm going to slap a 55 on you.
Yeah.
It's even more abundantly clear that if you're either a team on the rise and or the Toronto Raptors, you get 48 wins.
Yes. I think that's a good methodology.
I think
do you have anything?
My apology is if you did add up my numbers, it totaled every 400 wins over the median. Everybody,
it's not true, Chuck. You were hammering the unders, which is the smart play. Statistically, the smart play. John tells us unders hit 57% of the time.
57% is an unders.
Yeah. We did a lot of unders. We did well last week. I'm excited for this week's over under.
Yeah,
I feel very like I didn't take the tank in enough in the East. But don't worry, folks. It's the West.
That's what the West is for. So we got our Western Conference over-unders coming up in a little bit. A couple of things I need to make right that were errors from the previous show. Chuck, I told you that Garrison Matthews was hurt.
Yeah.
He's not. He's fine. thankfully.
He's on the Rockets.
Good job, Chuck. But I think I did the thing where I once again confused Garrison Matthews and Dylan Windler. Both white guys from Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee connections. Dylan Windler is in fact constantly hurt. Has never not been hurt. But yeah, so Garrison Matthews from Franklin, Tennessee, played at Lipscomb. Dylan Windler played at Belmont, which are colleges like a half a mile away from where Fastbreak Breakfast is recorded, the Baby Dungeon. I lived squarely in between those two universities, so that was my mistake. Also, last week, the show ran long, and we had this limited time frame, and we ran out of time for the awards ceremony of the program. And so, since this is another probably longer episode, we got to get the whole Western Conference in. I'm going to go ahead, and we're breaking format a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do the awards segment of the program right now. This is the International Stackhouse of Pancakes. We're gonna double up. We're gonna do 2 weeks of it's not exact weeks, but we're gonna do 2 awards. We're gonna call it first half of the preseason, second half of the preseason. And by the way, we have a lengthy list of honorable mentions. We have RJ Nimhard 0 for 7, Marcus Garrett 1 for 8, Spencer Dinwiddie 1 for 8, Anthony Edwards 2 for 12, Kelly Oubre 3 for 14, Dyson Daniels 3 for 14. Dyson Daniels had 5 steals in that game, though. That's pretty cool. Emmanuel Quickly 4 for 18, Giannis 6 for 21, and Donovan Mitchell 8 for 26. Those are just honorable mentions over basically the last 2 weeks.
I like that. 8 for 26.
That's beautiful.
I like that.
That's Kobe stuff.
So this is let's call this October
Halloween 1,
4 through 11. I believe this is 4 through 11. We have 4 nominees. James Bouknight, who might have a huge role on the Hornets because LaMelo Ball's hurt. James Bouknight was 0 for 8 with 1 point. Also had 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. Josh Jackson. This line is incredible. Buckle up. Josh Jackson, who's just waived by the Raptors. Josh Jackson was 1 for 9, 2 points, 1 rebound, and nothing else in 8 minutes. In 8 minutes, he managed to go 1 for 9, which is incredible. Dacian Nix, which I still don't know how to say his name, on the Rockets.
Muad'Dib.
1 for 10, 5 points, 3 rebounds. And then Cole Anthony, our boy Cole Anthony, 1 for 11, 6 points, 1 assist, 2 steals, 3 turnovers. So we got Bouknight 0 for 8, 1 point. Josh Jackson 1 for 9, 2 points. Dacian Nix 1 for 10, 5 points, and Cole Anthony 1 for 11, 6 points. Is it just Cole? Cole with the bigger number,
Cole
1 for
Anthony.
11?
Yeah, for as much as I love Josh Jackson and his rolling loud antics, I think it doesn't affect the box score here. So
there we go. I like it.
I know that we're not supposed to look outside the box score, but I took in that Cole Anthony game and immediately tried to trade him to every team in my league.
In my fantasy league, I ended up with a bunch of centers early, and I was like, oh, you know what? I think my field goal percentage is safe. I need to find myself some Cole Anthony because that guy does stuff. Just the shooting percentages are terrible.
If only we were in the same league. We could make a deal.
All right. So congratulations, Cole Anthony, on a preseason International Stackhouse of Pancakes award. Now for the final 4 days of preseason. We had some of your regulars playing a little bit more minutes. Some of your traditional guys started showing up. So our nominees over the last 4 days, Dylan Brooks, regular season form was 2 for 13, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 0 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. Harrison Barnes was 1 for 10, 3 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls. He was plus 25, which is pretty awesome. More on that actually in my steak and eggs. And then Trae Young in peak playoff form was 3 for 17 with 14 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 6 turnovers, and 2 personal fouls. So we have Dylan Brooks, 2 for 13, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 1 for 10, 3 points, 6 rebounds. Trae Young, 3 for 17, 14 points, and 6 turnovers.
Wow.
Whoa. These are tremendous.
That's actually pretty hard.
I think we throw Harrison Barnes out. I think it's Dylan or Trae. I will say I think 3 for 17 is technically also more rare than a 2 for 13.
Very true. But let's look at the other stats.
Yeah. 6 assists for Trey. Both guys had 2 steals, 6 turnovers. I'm going to go Trey. 17 field goal attempts and 6 turnovers. That's gross. I'll vote for Trey.
The turnovers is pretty compelling because that means like you didn't even do the thing that Trae Young can do where it's like, okay, I'm missing all my shots, so at least I'll just distribute the ball.
I think he thought he was playing the Miami Heat. He might have been playing them. Actually, I have no idea who he was playing in this matchup.
As much as it pains me not to give it to Dylan, we'll give it to Trey.
All right, that's 2 out of 3. Chuck, you want to make it unanimous?
Yeah.
All right.
There's something going on there.
All right, so congratulations.
Can you start even in preseason games when Dylan has a game like that, doing your retweeting yourself for the I don't know how Dylan comes back from this.
Man,
yeah.
An all-time classic FBBF tweet.
Yeah. The congratulations, Trae Young. Also, congratulations, Cole Anthony, on winning the last 2 weeks preseason International Stackhouse of Pancakes. Of course, the regular season tips off on Tuesday, and it becomes official. It gets engraved in the wall of shame. It's right beside the main sewer pipe in my basement. There's just a iron
next to the Lethal Lotto from last year.
We buried that in the backyard.
Chuck's turkey bacon conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Texts from a scorned Heat fan.
Oh man, the graveyard of fast break breakfast segments. Anyways, before we get to our steak and eggs best thing, I want to tell you guys in the Memphis area that you need to not miss Grammy Award winner and 15-time American Music Award winner Reba McEntire. Reba is returning to FedEx Forum with her Reba Live in Concert tour on Thursday, November 17th with special guest Terry Clark. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. Also, don't miss the WWE SmackDown. WWE Friday Night SmackDown, John. It's coming to the FedEx Forum on Friday, January 6th.
That was
the January 6th WWE SmackDown.
That was a targeted ad read for me.
Gonna be incredible. Catch your favorite SmackDown superstars live, including Drew McIntyre, The New Day, Liv Morgan, Sheamus, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or the FedEx Forum box office. All right, steak and eggs best thing. What's your best thing from the last week? John, what's your steak and eggs best thing?
So this is looking way forward and might be absurd, but I am excited that I feel like the 6th Man of the Year race this year is actually going to be made up of impactful players that matter and like could be, guys that really really impact the success of their team, as opposed to like, I feel like we've been lost in the sauce for decades on 6th Man of the Year award. And I feel like this kind of like Christian Wood and Jordan Poole type scenario we have this year, it will be a fun thing to actually talk about and consider. So I don't know. Return of the 6th Man is my
you think our Jordan Poole, by the way, congratulations, being rich.
No kidding. We'll get back more on him
Christian
later.
Wood, they seem more impactful to you than like previous 6 Man award winners because they do fit a certain genre of I get buckets off the bench, which has been the go-to.
I mean that I think that has stayed intact. But yes, both those guys like are more meaningful to me than the Jordan Clarkson, Jamal Crawford type of 6 Man.
They're like those guys on steroids, possibly.
Yeah.
How are they going to compete with Chuck's Tyler Hero? I mean, Tyler Hero is he still coming off the bench, Chuck?
No, I think he starts this year.
Start for real,
right.
But even Tyler Hero, I mean that to me, like these are guys who like that they'll need to depend on in the playoffs, etc. Instead of guys that just disappear come playoff time.
Where does Conchar fit on this hierarchy?
Them long odds.
I know there's long odds probably for Victor Oladipo to get 6 Man of the Year, but he's going to be playing that Tyler Hero role this year. I feel like.
You've nullified my argument. Good day, sir.
So, but that's a guy that, if he's healthy and he's back to semblance of what he was in Indiana, then you could see a guy like him.
So I'm looking at these 6th Man of the Year odds right now. The favorite is Jordan Poole. Second is Tyler Hero. Next is Christian Wood. All mentioned. The next ones, you could have given me a lot of guesses. I wouldn't have gotten there. Malcolm Brogdon. All right, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. Then Norm Powell. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't bet that because that's not going to win. Bones Highland, no.
No.
Anthony Simons, okay.
Is he 6 Man? He's starting.
He's not starting.
Bones Highland?
No,
Anthony Simons.
Oh, I'm sorry. I honestly, I don't know who starts for the.
Yeah, I don't either.
I know Josh Hart does, and I know Damon Lillard does, and I know Nurkic does. I guess Jeremy Grant. I don't. Yeah, the fifth one.
Yeah, maybe so.
Although Cam Johnson's on here, he's starting. No, Kelly Oubre is like 11th on here. Kelly Oubre?
He's starting.
I think he might be starting too.
Look, they're just trying to entice money.
Reggie Jackson's on here. He was named starting point guard.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you guys. Don't go for any of these. Oh, plus 4,000 Melton. Yeah. All right. I'm in.
Yeah.
Give me some of that. My best thing.
I feel like you may have willed that into existence, Keith.
Listen, we have some influence, and you could see it. I think last week, I believe the Vegas lines all shifted when we came out with our over-unders. It's just, hopefully you hear it here first, and then you're able to get in there before they move the lines away from whatever we say. No, my best thing. Okay. We're going to, I'm not totally giving away my hand for the upcoming over-unders because technically I don't know this team's over-under, but the Sacramento Kings might be incredible, y'all. The Sacramento Kings are smoking people. The Sacramento Kings made 21 out of 29 three-pointers in the last preseason game. Not only that, the Sacramento Kings made 21 three-pointers 2 games before that. This Sacramento team, which I've said explicitly on this show, they have firepower. And that was the thing I was focused on. This team might be able to shoot, should be able to score and keep up with anybody, and they are running teams off the court. Now, we've also mentioned how, maybe preseason results, we should ignore them.
Yes,
John,
should.
John, you said you were going to be very steadfast and just ignore preseason outcomes. Now, Kostya Medvedovsky, who creates the Darko projections, he came out with a thing I believe today, last couple of days, talking about how preseason results do matter.
No.
There is a correlation between doing well in preseason and then doing well in the season. We overthink it sometimes. Yes, there are results you should throw out. Yes, these aren't the normal rotations. But if you do well playing basketball, that might be a signifier that in the future you might do well playing basketball. And there are a few of these things that, all right, like the Trailblazers, horrifying in the preseason.
Right.
Getting killed by everybody. But when we go into these Western Conference over-unders and I'm looking at the Kings and then the Blazers and then the Lakers, all teams, honestly, I have in a similar tier. How am I not supposed to ingest the fact that the Kings beat the Lakers by 30 twice in the preseason? They beat the Trailblazers by 30 in the preseason. So I'm in on the Kings. I'm excited about the Kings. And also I'm excited about the correlation between preseason and regular season. So that's my best thing. Chuck,
will the Kings end their now longest in sports postseason drought?
Longest in professional sports postseason drought. Kings, no, they're not going to.
No way.
Despite my optimism,
will they get in the play-in?
More on that at the end of the show. Chuck, what's your best thing?
My best thing, I want to congratulate Draymond Green with his fine for punching Jordan Poole. Assuming that the fine is more than $5,876.
That's a big assumption.
Draymond is going to surpass $1 million in total fines. This comes from user Good Samaritan on Reddit.
Well, Draymond's just being a good Samaritan by donating to those charitable causes with those fines.
So we just did our taxes. I just did my taxes, and I can
in October.
I had to file an extension.
Oh, the extension.
That's when you extend.
Not October 15. Yeah, I've done that before.
Just got it in at the nick of time. But is a fine a business expense? Is he paying somebody to book it? His accountant is definitely making sure he gets this back at the end. But
is the fine, does it come, is it deducted directly from his paycheck? So then he never receives it. Is it wouldn't be
non-taxable? It's incredible. But this user went through and gave some incredible Draymond fines. There's 2 that stood out directly. The first one is in 2020 when he was on TNT and he got hit with a $50,000 fine for tampering for saying Devin Booker had to leave Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
which is incredible.
Every dollar that's worth it.
Keith, do you remember this? He got fined $35,000 for tweeting about referees. He got fined $35,000 for tweeting 4 letters, TD and MK. I guess Merritt Kogut is a referee or a character from Game of Thrones. They had a terrible game against the Timberwolves. He just tweeted MK for Merritt Kogut and TD, which was assumed to be Tim Donaghy. And
wow,
that's a lot of turkey bacon.
There's a lot of turkey bacon there, but he got fined $35K for a 4-letter tweet, which blows my mind. And
what did he get for breaking Jordan Poole's face?
47.
I thought I heard it was
50.
Yeah, I heard it was like 50 grand.
50 grand.
So we were making fun. I was making fun of that Draymond penalty. It's like $50,000 fine. That's nothing. But I think I'm doing the math wrong. If
that's
you
10,000 a finger.
Well, that's good. I got that math
roughly
right. It is if you just look at the total, if you look in totality of everything around the team, and you say if you add in, all right, Draymond minus 50K, Jordan Poole plus 130 mil, and then you see Wiggins plus 100 mil. All right, when you look at it in that sense, like, oh, Draymond, you lost. Not only did you move backwards 50,000, you also did not receive an extension of $100 million. So
right,
kind of a lot. It's honestly, it's similar to what the Warriors luxury tax payments are going to be going forward.
Oh my God,
where it's like Dane Moore was talking about this, where some GMs are talking about how the Warriors paying so much luxury tax is actually going to cause fewer teams to go into the luxury tax, because if you go into the luxury tax, you receive the bounty of gifts from the Warriors that they're handing out. So if the Warriors are paying $400 something million in luxury tax, well, that's like $12-13 million a team.
Yeah.
So if you're a team and you're like, oh wow, we're on a race to the play-in, we could add this player and we'd go $2 million into the luxury tax. It's not that player would cost you $2 million plus the $2 million fine. That player cost you $2 million plus $2 million plus the 13 to 15 to 16. You're not talking about just going over the luxury tax for like one minimum salaried guy is $20 million. And I don't know how any person passes that up. I know we're supposed to say just go for the win and don't worry about the actual numbers.
It feels like cost of ownership. When you own $1 billion anything, $15 million is what you use to clean the thing.
Easy to say, but if they're like, hey, Jay Crowder, acquiring Jay Crowder is going to cost us $48 million. Like, oh, yeah, no, I'm out. Like, I'm not sure he moves the needle that much.
I get it.
This seems like a good spot for us to do our croissant question.
Oh, sure, yeah, go ahead. We
if you're a member of our Patreon, you can you have the opportunity to submit us some queries that we will answer on the show. And Caleb asked this week, how much extra did Jordan Poole get on his contract for taking Draymond's punch? 5 million? 10 million?
I actually think it was less about the punch and more about Tyler Hero's contract. The much disputed Tyler Hero's contract. He basically got like, I need that plus, $1 million. Like, it's like they just saw Tyler Hero, they turned it up a little bit. But also, I do think there probably is a correlation.
Favored nations Tyler Hero clauses.
One, like they were probably already going to take care of Jordan Poole. But I think a way this team could move on from the punch so quickly is them being like, dude, we're going to give you $140 million or even whatever, 124 guaranteed.
We're going to help reduce the swelling in your eye with this giant bag of gold ducats.
That's right. Yeah. We've been icing these ducats for
these on your eye.
Yeah, just hold that there. Hold that still. Much like the frozen Kobe peas around my vasectomy scar. I think it's did the punch affect the total? Maybe.
No.
But I think the total definitely affected how this team moved on from the incident. And I do think the Tyler Hero standard was employed where they had to bump it up.
I like the idea where, this guy isn't happy. He just got punched by one of our leaders. Let's pay him. But that the question is incredible, but I don't think it's like a real thing.
Yeah. And now since we actually threw in a croissant query, here's another croissant query. I guess I could have hit on when I was talking about the Kings. Martinelli's Have It All asked, we all know the preseason is hard to derive meaning from, But if these preseason games were the first games of the actual season, what would the big takeaways be? The big takeaway being the Kings are amazing.
Conks.
Those are our best things. And some croissant queries sprinkled in. The opposite of our best thing is our worst thing. It's the cream of wheat worst thing. What's the worst thing you saw in the last week? Chuck, what is your worst thing?
We'll go back to contracts. The Warriors are just handing things out. And this is the cost, like I said earlier, the cost of doing business. You win a championship, everybody's got to eat, or you got to risk losing people. And it seems like right now the Andrew Wiggins contract is a choice for them to pay a guy that's filling that, Iguodala kind of role. Could be an underwhelming star, number one on a team, but is the perfect third or fourth guy on a championship team. And yeah, but that's the word. Like, he's getting paid.
Well, the worst is he's taking a pay cut. It's the worst for all of us teams that are good.
Yeah,
like
that looks like a pretty good salary for the guy I saw last year.
Yeah, he was incredible in the playoffs. One of the biggest reasons, maybe outside of Steph Curry, for them winning the title. And it was him taking. I want to know. Here's my croissant query: did he take less because of years of bullying of people making fun of his contract? He's just like, I don't want to hear. No, I mean, I guess he was cognizant of the fact that he's in the perfect situation.
Right.
I think possibly. Where he's like, this is the best thing it's ever going to be. I get to play next to, Draymond, who fits with my skills, but also playing next to Steph and Clay. And I just get to do this thing. You would think, like he said, like he can't carry a team, but in this role of just grab every offensive rebound and score whatever it was, 17 points a game and play great perimeter defense. He was amazing at it. And they're going to probably still continue to experience a lot of team success.
And that's a way to, because that burden, that number one overall pick is a burden. To be that player comes with expectations that crush some folks. Like, it takes people to a place where they think they're the man, and then they happen to just be one of the guys, one of the people in the league. And Wiggins is extremely talented. He was number one overall for a reason, but now he gets to be in this perfect place where he's not expected to be that dude. He can be a part of a bigger thing that actually is always going to compete for championships, as long as Steph Curry's the way he is right now. So I think it's just the perfect situation, but it sucks because I would love to underpay any of my Miami Heat players. All of my guys get a little more, or they make league minimum.
Yeah, it's also bad. I thought Anthony Irwin, who covers the Lakers, was pointing out like the sadness of Lakers Nation. Like, the Warriors and Clippers, historically not marquee franchises, but the Warriors and Clippers now operate the way he wishes the Lakers should be operating. Like, the Lakers should have all the money in the world from their TV contracts, but like, ownership is such a huge competitive advantage in the NBA. And the Warriors and Clippers, historically not good franchises, have these unbelievably wealthy ownership groups that are just being like, yeah, we will pay. Oh, it costs $16 million to keep Markieff Morris plus tax, or Marcus Morris plus tax. All right, I'll pay that. Luke Kennard, who, by the way, is shooting like 87% in the preseason. Luke Kennard cost me $16 million plus tax. Yeah, okay, that's what a 10th man costs, because I'm Ballmer and I don't care.
Well, can we stay on the Lakers then? Because
What's your
worst is I'm enduring like weird, like second spy cam trailings of Russell Westbrook, quote unquote, walking away from huddles when really he's just like talking to someone else on the bench. And I'm having to read tweets about how Westbrook leading the second unit is not enough. Like, we're obsessed with Russell Westbrook being the reason the Lakers suck. And he is very much not even in the top 3 reasons the Lakers suck. This is not his fault. I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't want to watch weird interactions between him and Beverly for the rest of the season, even though I enjoyed it so much at first. Like, Rob Pelinka just, got more money. Like, they have bigger fish to fry than Russell Westbrook. Was the trade horrendous? Sure. But, I think LeBron deserves more heat. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy, deserves more heat. That front office deserves infinitely more heat. Then the Westbrook thing is going to, it looks like we're going to get another year of it. And that's certainly the worst thing I can think of this week.
And Westbrook is not going to crack your 6-man argument with this. Not going to get
not.
Or I can't even find 6-man odds for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
The 6-man experiment lasted 5 minutes, He got hurt, left with a hamstring.
Hurt his butt.
The
Iverson style.
What did he say? Darvin Ham said it's not a demotion, it's a realignment or something.
I love that.
Pretty great
they
stuff.
They brought in an expert. They did tests with
like
focus
John
groups.
C. McGinley in Office Space.
Right.
What is it you do here?
My worst thing is I feel kind of bad for Jared Butler, who got cut by the Jazz. Now, I don't know the Jazz. I'll be honest. I don't know the Jazz's roster situation that intimately. I assume eventually they're going to cut Leandro Balmero, who's terrible. They did cut Stanley Johnson, who last year on the Lakers looked totally fine. Like he was like their 5th best player. By the way, I don't know if I know I've mentioned it, but Mac McClung got waived and Kent Bazemore got waived, which now means I think all 10 of the free agents who left the Lakers last year not in the NBA.
Yeah.
Which is
their roster is
which honestly is an argument that maybe they got better because no one on their team last year is in the NBA. But Jared Butler, who was a high draft pick, who I wanted more than Santi Aldama last year, he got waived, but he got waived despite having a pretty solid preseason. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, whom I believe, I don't know if it was on the show or if it was on our Zoom hangout. We had like a prop, like what would you bet for Nickeil Alexander-Walker's field goal percentage? Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the preseason, 1 for 14 from the field.
Yeah.
You know what his per 36 is? Per 36 scoring average?
Go on.
2
Nailed it.
points.
2.
Yeah.
2 points for 36 from your scoring guard. And Jared Butler's got to be like, I got cut for this guy.
This dude.
Negative fantasy league stalwart.
Yeah, we're actually we're doing our negative fantasy draft right after this. Nickeil Alexander-Walker shooting up my draft board. Also, by the way, I know I've learned my lesson not to immediately judge guards in the NBA. And I mentioned this guy last week as someone to watch for in the Jacques watch as we go into the regular season to see if any player can match Jacques Vaughn's 0 for 22 start to the season. Yeah. I mentioned him again because the preseason is complete and we have the full numbers. Johnny Davis, the 10th pick in the draft.
The Badger.
2 for 21 from the field in preseason, 9.5%. If you combine him with their first round pick from last year, Corey Kispert and Johnny Davis together in the preseason, 3 for 30 from the field.
Oh, God.
0 for 13 Amazing. From 3. So that's 10% from the field, 0%.
Such pleasure, such pain.
From 3. So that is my cream of wheat worst thing. All right.
Like I think after the butthole book genre, you need to move into demonic puzzle box butthole.
That's next.
So we've already knocked out some croissant questions. We've already done the awards segment of the program. So it is now time to jump forward to our Western Conference over-unders. If you don't know, if you missed the season premiere, what are you doing? Go back and listen to season 9, episode 1, Eastern Conference over-unders. But I will tell you that historically through the years, this is the 9th time we're doing our over-unders. We've done a good job. Individually, we're fine. Individually, Chuck's knocking out 61% correct picks. John stumbled last year, but still, historically, 58% winners for John, 57% for me. Those aren't amazing. Those are fine. But the real...
Those will not make you money.
The real... yeah, you're losing on the VIG there. You're treading water. But the real issue is when you combine, or the real strength is when you combine our knowledge, the combined knowledge of us. When 2/3 of us agree on a pick, historically over the last 8 years, we have picked 64.8% winners. 136, 74, and 3. When we are unanimous on a pick, we are 59, 27. No, excuse me. We are 70. We are 2/3 on a pick.
You just drop in last week's numbers here.
Yeah. When we are 2/3 on a pick, we are 151, 89, and 3. That's 62.9% winner. That will make you money. And when we are unanimous on the over-under for a team going against the Vegas win projection, 70, 32-2. 70, 32-2. That's 68.6% winning percentage. That is outrageous. Chuck, you've been muted for a while. I don't know if you want to weigh in.
Hey now.
There we go. Yeah. So we will do the Western Conference. We will do it alphabetically. I don't know most of these. So the way we historically do it, I will say my win total. John will tell me what the latest Vegas line is. And we use the latest and greatest lines. If you want to make money, you probably should have bet on these months ago before the public moved them. But we're doing latest and greatest. We're making it difficult. We have a high bar of difficulty for ourselves. I will say what I think that team, what I have the team winning, and then John will give us the number, and then we'll go over under from there. So we start with the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks were pretty solid last year, very solid. Made the conference finals, had a great defense, somewhat surprisingly. I think the Mavericks are going to take a step back this year. I don't think the addition of Christian Wood and the subtraction of Jalen Brunson is a net positive. I have the Dallas Mavericks winning, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be an easy under because I already bet this based on an earlier summer line. I have the Dallas Mavericks at 47 wins.
Under.
Yeah.
48.5.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could twinge it to 48. They're depending so much on Luka Doncic. And I honestly think the defense might take a step back this year. And if it does, I think they're going to have some problems hitting that over. But what do you guys think?
Chuck, your thoughts on the Mavs?
So I'm going to go over. I think they'll be able to win 50 in the West. I don't know if Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to come back and be like any sort of offensive threat, but if he does, he can kind of replace what Jalen Brunson kind of did in a little bit of a different kind of way.
Sure.
Yeah, but Christian Wood gives them offense too. I don't think
it's good.
Luka looked good in Eurobasket, and having an offseason where he's not just smoking hookah is probably good. There's hookah, and he played basketball too. So that may lead him to having the first quarter of the season, instead of him trying to get into shape, he might be actually in shape when the season starts, and I could get him 2 or 3 games early in the year.
John, historically, I feel like you like the Mavericks. You like Luka Doncic. You are generally pretty optimistic. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
It will be another massive Mavericks over for me.
Okay.
53 wins.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
I think Luka's either the best or second best player in the league. So
50, I will tell you right now, 53 wins that's the highest win total I have for any team in the Western Conference this year. The trick of this one, and we talked about it in the Eastern Conference episode, is there are multiple teams that are tanking, and many of them are in the West. I think right now, the way I think generally people view the West, there are 11 teams trying. There are 11 teams vying for
I have some really high win totals because
spots.
of this. I'm confused why you have so few.
Because I have I guess that's how the math worked out. I don't think anyone's gonna win 60 like the Suns did last year. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I have my 6th, 7th, and 8th seeds kind of winning a lot of games, which is how I ended up there. But like the
I have my 6th, 7th, and 8th seeds winning a lot of games, and then still have the top seeds. I mean, I have a 60 game winner.
Well, can you tell us where the Mavericks are in your Western Conference hierarchy? Those 53 wins, so 3 seeds. Yeah, that's a comfortable over for John. No, the Jazz, the Spurs, the Rockets, and the Thunder, I think most people assume barely going to participate in the competitive portion of the season. So yeah, that can bump things up. Anyway, all right, so we're 2/3 over on the Mavericks. Next team, the Denver Nuggets. I am very optimistic about the Nuggets regular season. I'm giving myself some leeway on this one. I'm going to go 50 or 51 right now. I'll just write down 50 and 32. So 50 wins for the Nuggets. I reserve the right to bump it up if that in fact ends up being an under.
It's an over.
Okay, good. All right. So I'll stick with 50. Seems safe.
49.5.
Oh, right there.
I concur. I have the Nuggets winning one more game than the Mavs. I just think they're a better team with their best player doing what he's supposed to be doing, as opposed to what he had to shoulder last year. I really love the players the Nuggets added. So I think the Nuggets, I hated not being, I really wanted to go out there and take the Nuggets as my number 1 seed in the West, especially I think as a regular season team, they're just set up perfectly, but I still have one more team above them, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Chuck, how you feel about the Nuggets? 49.5. It's not that high.
It's not that high. I'm thinking I'm going to go over. KCP and Bruce Brown added to that team
Love 'em.
is like
They get 2 players back from injury too. So even if one of them hits,
yeah, with Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, like I think this is a chance for maybe Jokic to earn a third MVP in a
No
row.
way.
I think it could happen.
Hey, the odds are right if you want to bet on that.
Yeah, you should do that, Chuck, because I think his numbers will be down from the scoring load, and then people will just be tired of voting for him.
I think if they get the number 1 seed and he's the best player and he's doing things,
if they're the 1 seed, they're going to win it. He's going to win it, John. Right?
Yeah. So I don't know.
It won't be the 1 seed.
But yeah, I think they have the ability to like fix the problems they had with defense with the additions of KCP and Bruce Brown. So
yeah, if
that gets him into
my number, honestly,
low 50s.
My number, honestly, is assuming like 1,500 to 1,800 minutes for Jamal Murray. Like, let's say 60 games played at 25 minutes a game. Let's say Michael Porter Jr. only plays half the season. I think they can win 50 games. They did it last year playing horrible players.
Yeah.
Horrible players played tons of minutes for the Nuggets last year.
This number gives me pause because this is such a slam dunk to me.
Oh, by the way, I penalized the Mavericks 2 wins for signing Facu Campazzo.
So you should, as you should.
Yeah, they desperately needed
that could be a Eurobasket brotherhood friendship thing.
Maybe
that could be a Chris Smith situation.
Yeah. All right, so we're unanimous over on the Denver Nuggets. The Golden State Warriors are up next. I could not have been any more incorrect about the Warriors last year in my preseason prognostication.
We got Hollingered.
Me and John Hollinger thought the team was going to be borderline not great. And
he'll never get that stink off for me, by the way. That I do not listen to him anymore.
The Warriors I have with the second best regular season record, and I put them at 52 wins. I think they're better this year. I think Kuminga and Jordan Poole are going to be great. I think Wiseman is going to be great for them. I also think they're going to chill in this regular season. They're going to be very cautious with Curry's minutes, with Draymond's minutes, with Klay Thompson's minutes. 52 wins.
I don't think they're going to get there.
Okay, so what's the Vegas
they're
number?
Going to chill 51 and a half.
I'm a mild over, and I will accept my fate. Okay.
I'm an under. Not that I don't think they're going to be good. I have them at 49 wins, but I also think I thought we saw the best version of the Warriors we could in the postseason. It also aligned with a perfect kind of a perfect storm of matchups for them. And I'm not sure how incentivized they'll be to go all out in this postseason or regular season.
Yeah.
So I just don't.
They didn't even go. So last year, sorry to cut you off. Last year, Klay Thompson barely played, and they didn't even go all out. They were fine with the Grizzlies having a better seed than them. They didn't go hard down the stretch.
I don't think they care.
And they still finished last year, with 52 wins.
I do think Klay Thompson is no longer that Klay Thompson. And then I don't know if Steph Curry in the regular season is the old Steph Curry of old.
Steph Curry had a down year last year, and that could be regular season, and that could be like, all right, is this older Steph Curry, or is it an aberration? Is he going to make all his threes again this year?
I still think he's a guy in the playoffs and in key matchups you have to fear, and he changes the game whenever he's on the court. But I do wonder if he's that same player that you're like, well, we're an automatic 50-win team just because we have Steph Curry. So I predict a slight slide, and we'll probably be humbled yet again by my aspersions against the Dubs.
What do you got, Chuck?
So I'm on a fence here because if in my head, if the young guys, Moody, Kuminga, Wiseman, step into their power, right, and play at a level that they got drafted at, then this team is an easy over. If they have trouble, these young guys, because I think what their floor is. What the Golden State Warriors floor is. You have Steph and Klay and a great system, and maybe Draymond. I don't know. Jordan Poole's going to score a bunch, but the unknowns are these young guys who have all flashed, but we don't know if they're going to be contributors for an entire season. If they are, I'm going over. But that's a hard thing to project. So I think I'll look at it.
Unfortunately, that's the task.
That's
welcome to hell.
What we're doing right now.
What I'm thinking is that this team won the championship. They're gonna not care about seeding again and try to be healthy for the playoffs. which means they're going to probably drop 3 or 4 games to teams that don't matter. So I'm going under.
All right. So a 2/3 under.
Primed for a post-championship hangover as well.
Right.
Non-statistical stuff, all the pieces fit.
Right.
To me, a team to do less. So, so I'm happy to be the only under.
Yeah. No, Chuck went under.
I went under.
Oh, what? Oh,
yeah.
Now you messed up. I think the hunger of Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman getting heavy minutes could be the boost to carry them through that hangover. But we will move on. It could make them worse. We will move on to the Houston Rockets, one of the teams that might not be that interested in winning basketball games. They have 7 players on their team who were drafted in the first round over the last 2 seasons, which is absurd.
Yes.
Very, very young. However, they are one of those teams that the Darko projection says was awesome in the preseason.
Yeah.
And because of that, I have moved them from 21 wins to 24 wins. 24 wins.
You're an over on the Rockets. Welcome to hell.
20, what's their number?
23.5.
Oh, no.
Chuck, what do you think? Keith's already stuck in the mud.
I think
here.
they're gonna suck. They're gonna try to be bad. Yeah, they were healthy last year and won 20 games. So I can't.
I mean, define health. They were
most of their guys were
played.
But yeah, I think they could probably use to not win. So I'm gonna go 20 wins again. I think they'll do that.
They're going to have to send Tari Eason away from the team.
Yes.
A la John Wall, if they want to lose some of these late season games. I don't think that guy can turn it off. He's incredible.
20 wins for me. The Rockets are not going to try and will not win games.
I am not remotely aligned with you guys this episode so far, which is great. I love it. I got the Pacers over and I got the Rockets over, and I'm going to put my real money on it, I think. Let's do the Los Angeles Clippers. This is one of those teams where I actually worked out my funny math where I'm like, okay, we're going to get 40 games of Kawhi and Paul George playing together. They're going to go 33-7.
They're going to go 40-0.
Yeah, they're going to win all. The last time Kawhi and Paul George played 2 years ago, they had a +17 net rating when those guys were on the court. So, all right, they're going to go 33-7 in the games that Kawhi and Paul George play. Then there's 20 games where just Paul George is going to play. I think they're going to go 13-7. I'm already up to 46.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have 18, 20 games left without those guys. Like 8-14.
No,
so,
that team, they can win without them. The team is so good.
Yeah. I think I might need to actually revise.
They'll go 500. Up. Yeah.
Yeah. I might need to revise mine up, which I think is going to put me right on the number. I think I'm going to go 51-31, which
welcome to being under on the Clippers.
Okay. All right. So what's their number? Is it
52.5?
Wow. You know what? I'm okay with being under there.
I feel like you're trying to hew too close to the actual number and forgetting that number is relatively meaningless.
I know. I'm not trying to hit that number. I'm honestly doing what I kind of think it's going to be. So I'll go 51 and I will take my under. What do you got?
Thoughts on the Clippers?
I think this is a team that needs the confidence of a high seed because of the way they've really just not performed too well. Todd Lue is going to coach them into caring about regular season games. I think 54 wins is what I put the Clippers at. I think they're highly talented. Kawhi is going to be a machine, even if he only plays 60 games. And it's going to be incredible. I can't wait to watch that team play.
It could be awesome.
60 wins for me.
Johnny Burr.
That's what's up.
There's a lot of teams not trying. And this team has bench players significantly better than multiple players in my team's starting lineup. This is a psychotic roster. And they are going for it.
There's something to being the Clippers and being good in a year that the Lakers might be bad that could invigorate them to, put out a good product on the floor so they can.
So that segues nicely into our next team, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Lord.
A bad team that's playing badly was incredibly terrible in the preseason. They do obviously
if
have
you somehow
LeBron
end
James.
up right on this inflated Lakers number, you have to take a few weeks off.
Yeah. I had the Lakers as an under 500 team. I have the Lakers with 40 wins. I'm trying to see where they rank in my West.
You are a safe under, by the way.
I have them as the 9th best team in the West, and I knew that would be a safe under. They still could get trades and bring in players that would benefit them.
And will Miles Turner and Buddy Hield do that much for this roster?
I do honestly think they will, but we've always differed on that particular piece of information.
Where's the success with those guys?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big under. What is the Vegas line for the Lakers?
I want you to guess.
I would guess it's 45 or 46.
45.5. Disgusting.
Okay. I feel comfortable.
The power.
Listen, they might win 40,
of Lakers gambling.
They might win 45 games, but they're not winning. Come on. That feels like the safest under.
Yes.
I mean, they won 42 last year, and I don't think they're better. Pat Beverly doesn't move the needle for me at all.
He moves it more than Kent Bazemore and Wayne Ellington.
Taylor Horton.
That's
Tucker.
my bad. I thought Wayne Ellington was a good signing. That's on me.
Yeah, we'll see if Kendrick Nunn makes a difference. It's not.
By the way, Chuck, they won 33 games last year.
Yeah.
Oh, 33?
Yeah. Remember, if they won 42 games, the Grizzlies could have drafted the good Jalen Williams. But no, the Pelicans got Dyson Daniels because this team couldn't beat out the tanking Spurs for the play.
So Vegas has them set at 12 games higher than this isn't a team that is that much better than last year's team, if they're better at all. So.
I mean, Vegas, they just know they can get insane Lakers fans to bet this. I mean, they're trying to get equal money on both sides.
Hard under. LeBron James is not going to run on transition defense one time this entire year.
I thought Patrick Beverly's going to set that culture, though.
Culture.
He can, and that'll still be not enough.
Yeah.
He's going to get him in the play-in.
What about your boy Kendrick Nunn coming back?
I don't know. Second team all rookie Kendrick Nunn, but he's not in the Heat system anymore, so I don't believe in him.
First team. He was second in rookie. He was second in rookie of the year voting.
Forgive me. I'll apologize next week to him.
It's all right. It's good.
So
we're a unanimous under on the Los Angeles Lakers, and that brings us to our Memphis Grizzlies. By the way, before we get there, if you want to watch the Memphis Grizzlies in person, you need to get those Grizzlies season tickets. It's an incredibly hot ticket. So go ahead and lock in the best seats at the best prices. Also for the best giveaways, they have not only the season ticket plans, they're now half season plans and 10-game packs. So lock in your tickets to see Ja, Jaren, Dez, and all your favorite Grizzlies players make big time noise starting at just $11 per game. Get your tickets now. Call 901-888-HOOP or click grizzlies.com. All right. I don't want to go first here. I, on Grits and Grinds, have been spelling out how like my optimism peaked a month ago. And the preseason, by the way, the preseason simple rating system, they did fine. Like they beat the Bucks backups with their own backups. They blew out the Pistons. They did lose. They blew out the Magic once, then lost to the Magic and lost to Chuck's Heat reserves. But my optimism is waning. John, do you mind going first and telling me what you think what your win projection for the Grizzlies are?
My win prediction was 48, which is an under.
Oh no, Johnny. This team won 56 last year, and Ja Morant year 3 to year 4, Desmond Bane year 2 to year 3.
I don't buy it. I don't buy that we are going to be able to seamlessly plug in guys to replace crucial, in some cases, transformative pieces. I don't like the sheer number of minutes that are going to be given to players that I think are bad. 48 wins is pretty good. I think if you don't think that 56 win performance last year was a confluence of insane events, just take a look at how many of those wins Ja Morant was actually a part of. It's staggering.
So the unspoken thing that like makes people angry in Grizzlies Nation to talk about, and I've even seen it written that like the Grizzlies' performance without Ja Morant is a reflection of Ja Morant's leadership. And it's like, folks, come on now. This team's winning percentage when Ja Morant played last year, not that great. I mean, relatively. It wasn't 56 win pace. And that combined with the thing you said, John, about like you replaced Melton and Kyle Anderson, who were
with nothing.
Some of the better rebounders on the team, who were the best steals and blocks guys on the team outside of Jaren. And by the way, Jaren's not playing.
Yeah.
And this team's formula for success last year was getting steals, getting blocks, and rebounding and turning that into transition opportunities. And that's currently gone. And like, I don't know. So like my optimism has gone down. I tried to be patient for Summer League and preseason to watch like LaRavia play. He's not ready. He's not good. And he's going to be playing. And like Konchar's, they're going to be leaning on Konchar a lot. They're leaning on Zaire Williams, who like, again, I'm optimistic Zaire Williams will be better than last year. By the way, Zaire Williams has a sore knee. He's not going to play probably the first game.
Just a guy.
Chuck, where are you on the Grizzlies?
By
the way, Ja Morant is incredible, and he's going to average 30 a game.
Right.
And like going to be flirting with first team All NBA. And by the way, when I'll give you some positives, Chuck, before you weigh in. When this team has their guys, when it's Ja and Dylan and Dez, and when Jaren is healthy, and I think Jaren's going to miss maybe 10, 15 games. I don't think it's going to be more than that. And when they have Steven Adams and Brandon Clark on the court, this team crushed people last year. They crushed people with Ja. Their starting lineup net rating was incredible. Their net rating of just their top 8 returning guys, if you include Tyus Jones and Zaire Williams in this, they were plus 14 when any of their starters plus those top 3 bench guys were on the court last year. There are a lot of positives. This team went toe-to-toe with the Warriors in the playoffs, despite not having Ja for half the series, despite missing Dylan Brooks for a couple of games, despite Steven Adams having COVID, despite Desmond Bane having a back injury, we couldn't get more than 8 shot attempts up in every game. So I'm sorry. Now, Chuck, I want to just balance it a little before.
You got to make sure you're getting both sides out of your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, it's complex. There's nuance here. We can't just nuance. The more you know something, the less
walking truth of that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the players who left. This team is gonna need a lot of internal improvement to replace Melton and Kyle Anderson. That's it for me. And those guys were the reasons why Dylan Brooks could miss 50 games and Ja could miss 25 games last year. Those are the glue guys.
Let's talk about Dylan Brooks missing 50 games.
Yeah. So
let's talk about Dylan Brooks playing more games.
So that John's theory, his Ewan theory about Dylan Brooks could come true, and this could really be.
There's not a big John. There is not a big win-loss difference between when Dylan played and when he did not play. They defended better when he played. They had a better net rating when he played. They had the same winning percentage whether he played or not, which is an argument you can go both ways with.
Sure.
But like he's been number 1 on the team in on-off net rating swing each of the last 2 seasons. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean.
We've been
open to your argument. We've been over. Yeah.
We've been over my opinions on on-off net rating and quality of competition and how that is a very rough stat to put anything behind it. And it is also a stat eschewed from most gambling models, I might add. I also think Dylan Brooks is a good regular season player, and I don't even mind. I think he's a great innings eater. But to me, it's just not that I won't him and Hall and talk out of both sides of my mouth. I will say very bluntly, you can't just get rid of some of your best players and bring in nobody. You can't do that and expect to repeat your success.
Yeah,
especially when your second.
I still think they're going to be pretty good. 48 wins is pretty good. 48
wins is pretty good.
But if you're going to just do excise to your best shooter besides Desmond Bane. And the guy who lets you
second on the team in 3-point
these weird lineups, then no, you're not going to be as good. Sorry.
Kyle Anderson was the perfect utility tool. Just whatever you need, go play and you'd be fine.
Under.
I'm going over.
Oh, unanimous under.
Ja Morant has never hit his preseason under. They've gone over every single year. We picked him to be last in the West. Unanimously, his rookie year, he made us look like fools. I'm not going against Ja. Also, here's the deeper schedule breakdown that I did not do, honestly, for every team because I couldn't find the information.
Make me feel better.
The Grizzlies get the full 16 games against the Rockets, Spurs, Thunder, and Jazz. Not every team gets that because, like, you end up playing some teams 3 times in the West. They got the full load of tank teams.
Can't wait to be wrong about this.
And also their schedule, it's weighted in a way that they should, even if their defense is terrible when Jaren is out, which I think is a possibility, their schedule isn't that hard to start the year. So I think they can maintain, and then when Jaren comes back, they'll be able to rack up the wins. I was basically thinking they were 52-53 like a month ago. I'm down to 49, but that's still the slightest of overs. Also, I know where my bread is buttered. Let's go to the next team.
Timberwolves.
Speaking of Kyle Anderson.
As soon as I find my doc. The next team is the Minnesota Timberwolves, who made a bunch of huge moves this offseason. I don't think the fit works that great with Karl-Anthony Towns and Gobert, and I am not that optimistic actually about their guard play outside of Anthony Edwards. So I'm going to guess this is an under. I haven't been good. This is the same argument with the Grizzlies. 48 wins is a lot. I have the Timberwolves at 47 wins. That's a lot. I haven't making the playoffs, but I feel like it's an under. What's Vegas say?
It's an under. A belief I share in a similar fashion. I have them at 48, and it's 48.5.
Woo!
I love what the Timberwolves did. I just think it could take a while to round into shape. And then, I think this is certainly on the right track. I worry slightly. I think it's just going to take a while for, as great as a plus Rudy Gobert is going to be on defense for them. I'm not excited about seeing how Karl-Anthony Towns shifts over and plays defense. He's a very plodding defender at this point in his career. But I think, they're going to be a really as good as the Grizzlies,
Yeah. No, I think they're going to be right there with the Grizzlies. I agree with that.
So I have them, I have them both winning 48 games, and that's a slight under for me. Chuck?
Yeah. Chuck, what do you got?
I'm so excited to see everybody's, like, a lot of people either hate Rudy Gobert or they have a very informed argument as to why Rudy Gobert is an incredible player. I'm just curious to what he looks like in this system, what he does to that defense, and if it turns his team into Utah over, where they're just going to run through the regular season.
Yeah.
This is the number I feel worst about of our entire thing, because I like the moves and I want to pick, and it just, my brain and gut are both like, hey, this team is much better. But then the number just wasn't right for me, and I got stuck.
They won 46 last year.
I know.
A lot of it was
they finished strong. They also picked up those end of the season wins when those, I don't weigh those as heavily, but they might do it this year as well. Yeah, they might. So what do you got, Chuck?
They added Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson, and I love I love that this is going to be the team we get to watch. It's going to have defense, but they can score at multiple positions.
I know Keith took a dump on their guard play, but I think D'Angelo Russell's pretty good pick and roll guy for your regular season team.
He is a good pick and roll guy. But
so they'll be able to score whenever, and now they have Kyle Anderson, who gives them
competence,
flexibility, and Rudy Gobert, who's going to give you elite rim protection. I
hate being under on this.
But
it's the other teams getting better that sucks into these.
That's the first time John and Chuck, you guys have disagreed so far in the Western Conference. I like this West. We have not been East. We were unanimous everywhere. We basically are all we're split on these teams, which I think is fun. The next team, the New Orleans Pelicans. I feel like I'm underrating the Pelicans. I'm so outrageously excited for Zion's return. I think Trey Murphy 3 is awesome. I think the depth on this team is actually now a strength, and they have a lot of scary players. And I have them at 46 wins, but I might change that because that feels low. I have them right behind the Timberwolves because I had Grizzlies at 49. I have the Timberwolves at 48, and I have the Pelicans at 46. I might turn that up a little bit. What is their Vegas number?
You're over. It's 44.5.
I like being over.
Yeah.
I like being over.
I have the Pelicans and Timberwolves both winning 48 games and being ahead of the Grizzlies. So I'm over as well.
Woo, you got the Grizzlies in the play-in. All right, Chuck, what's your 48 44.5. That's low, man.
This team went 1-12 to begin last season, and kind of righted this ship. Willie Green got everybody playing together. It was fun basketball. It was the stuff you talk about.
Had a huge trade.
Huge trade that bring CJ in. They have leadership and fun players. You know, Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado are fun.
So fun.
So yeah, man, the Zion's back. Get out of here. This team is gonna win 50 games.
Seemed like a very easy over to me.
And like Devontae Graham is not like a bad player.
No,
but they've also essentially been like, yeah, we don't need Devontae Graham. You know, like they'll play him some, but like it seems like they have a lot of options.
If Jose Alvarado has 28 points in a regular season game, they're going to win the title.
Easy.
So all right, we're there now. We're back on board together. We're unanimous over on the Pelicans. That's that line disrespectful.
It
feels like that.
The Oklahoma City Thunder. They have their eyes on the prize. They're all they're doing this year is looking forward to Tyler Parker's upcoming novel, which releases in the next summer. They're not interested in winning basketball games. I don't think. They lost Chet Holmgren very unluckily. I don't think this team has talent. I don't even see the optimistic take. And I know like I've been a little bit hard on the Thunder the past couple of years, but even if Giddey and Gilgeous-Alexander play all the games, I don't think they're going to win a lot. And guess what? I don't think they're going to play all the games.
The Giddey love's gone too far too.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be starting Josh Giddey.
I think if this team tried to win basketball games, they would be stuck in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
I think if they literally wanted to win all their basketball games, I'm like, who's your best five? Like, are we talking about a Trey Man leap? Like, I don't get it. Trey Man led the NBA and made 3-pointers in the preseason. So maybe I'm wrong. I have this team, if they tried at 26 wins, but they're not going to try, I have them at 19 wins.
Safely under 23.5. What say you, Chuck?
17 wins.
I'm proud.
They went over last year. We got burned.
I'm getting burned again. I have them at 16 wins, so I think it's a race to the bottom.
Doesn't matter. You want to be in those bottom three, and people are.
They have steeled themselves over the last 2 seasons. They're going to face other franchises like the Jazz, and maybe the Magic, and maybe the Pistons.
You talked about all these strange moves that the Jazz are making, cutting seemingly.
No, it's not that strange.
Players.
Yeah. Oh, you're cutting.
This is a race to the bottom. I think the numbers will be low.
Like they're the guy. They've been in it. They're like, oh, you like. Not like maybe the Bane. I was born in the darkness.
Yeah.
They've been training themselves for years. They're going to be like, oh, you think you're tanking?
If they can't keep their losses close to 70 this year, what have they been doing?
We just signed Chris Smith.
Yeah.
Like they're going to look you square in the eye like, oh, Spurs, you think you're taking? Wally Zerbiak's still in a jersey.
Too much Thunder talk.
All right. Unanimous under for the Thunder. Under for the Thunder. Phoenix Suns are a weird one. I'm going to edit out that thing I just yelled. Yeah, the Phoenix Suns, man, they were incredible last year. I think they're also going to be very good this season. I feel very nervous, though, penciling them in for 52 wins, which is what I've done. 52 wins, tied with the Warriors for the best record in the West, in my book.
You've gone under.
Okay.
And let it be said, if the Suns go under, that is a borderline unprecedented fall from grace.
Oh yeah, to lose what, like 10 games or something?
Yeah, that's truly powerful collapse based on, I'm not entirely sure what, Jake Crowder leaving, some bad vibes.
Well, you just you cast it off as not meaningful, but they did lose a starter. Yeah. They did lose a starter. They also lost JaVale McGee, who's a very solid backup center for them. So they did lose some things, and also they lost the trust of the franchise. And the true secret of success, Robert Sarver.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Yeah. First of all, John, what's the line?
52.5.
So I'm the narrowest of unders, and I don't like being there.
Too bad you're stuck there. I'll go over easily.
Yeah.
Over. They're going to win 57, 58 games.
Yeah, they should be awesome. They're freeing Cam Johnson.
Yeah. I'd hate to be on that under.
But I mean, I think it's easy. One, it's easy.
I'm trying to think of a team like collapsing that badly without major injury or just trying to turn it in, and I can't really.
Here's the story. If you want to write the story, Chris Paul is old.
Okay.
We talked about the luxury tax disbursements about, hey, the Warriors are about to give everybody a check for $18 million, except for you, Phoenix.
Nah.
By the way, Phoenix, you don't get this $18 million. By the way, like Clippers, Phoenix, yeah, you guys are out. Ballmer says I could care less. I don't even know who runs the Suns. Like they could be like, hey, Pacers, we'll trade you Miles Turner for DeAndre Ayton. We'll trade you, like there could be a fire sale on like a combat player. So that's the story if you want to write it. But I think you guys are probably right being on the overside of this.
They were incredible. It felt like they had won 10 games in a row all year last year.
Yeah, I mean they were first in the NBA from the start, and no one ever got close to them.
No, and they were smashing people.
All right, we have 4 more teams. The Portland Trailblazers, a team that deceives me every year. I feel like. I feel like every year I'm like pretty solid stuff. Here's what I'm going to do. They were awful in the preseason. So I'm just going to take the under, whatever it is. No, I'm confused about Portland. I have them worse than the Lakers, which I don't know if is correct, but I'm going to say 38 wins for the Trailblazers this year. A confusing, confounding number. Nurkic looked pretty poor in the preseason. This team has been blown out basically every preseason game, except for the one they played against the non-NBA team. So yeah, 38 wins for the Portland Trailblazers.
You're under. It's 39.5.
Okay.
It's weird because I like a lot of what the Blazers did in the off season. I like
do it to me every year.
They added. But I'm also snafu'd like you, Keith. I'm going under 39.
Okay.
Which I hate.
Chuck,
that number. I hate that number being so
you
close.
You want to make us another unanimous, or are you excited? I mean, Dame time. No, the return of Dame time.
I love Dame.
Josh Hart, Jeremy
30
Grant,
games last year.
Nasir Little.
They
got some players. Anthony Simons. They got some players, man.
I think Jeremy Grant could be good for him. But yeah, I think that's a 40-win team. They don't want to suck, and they're trying to keep.
All right,
I guess they try just enough.
It's half the battle. Not wanting to suck is half the battle. Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I feel like I've been burned too many times.
I'm super worried that like Chauncey Billups is really bad.
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, that's a question mark.
I don't know how to assess coaching. So
I assess it all the exact same way. So
the Sacramento, like you didn't play Melton very much. Well, not that good.
You suck.
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings. I already said I'm taking the over. So just tell me what it is, John, and I'll take the over.
Second easiest over in this, I think. It's 33.5.
I love it. I got him at 37.
I also have him at 37. I feel I'm too low. I think I'm too low. Chuck, what do you think? This team has shooters, man. Shooters.
They surrounded Sabonis, Hassan White.
The Buddy Hield curse is over.
They surrounded Sabonis with just guys who can score the basketball. Yeah, it seems nice.
They're the Kings, y'all. They're the Kings.
Okay. 33.5 is low. Do it. You do you. I don't want to influence you.
They are. This will be the 17th year they don't make the playoffs in the West. That probably means you're a 33, 34 win team.
I mean, I have him as my 11th seed at 37 wins, which is probably stupid because 11 seeds normally don't win 37 games. So
right,
that's supporting your argument, Chuck.
I'm going for 33 wins.
All right, under.
I think I've taken their under every year of the show, and I think we've been correct every year. Is that right? I should have looked that up. There was one year they were going to get there, but Boogie got hurt, and they ended up not getting there. All right, we're 2/3 over. The San Antonio Spurs not trying to participate in this season. My issue is I don't think they organizationally know how to win fewer than 20. So I think if they just roll out Jakob Poeltl and Keldon Johnson and Josh Richardson and Zerbiak, yeah, they might trade some of those guys. Like no one's going to trade 2 picks for Poeltl, so they're going to have to play him or send him away. I don't feel like the Spurs are a team that will send him away. I don't think they have what the Thunder have with that resolve. And so because of that, I have the Spurs at 23 wins.
That's an over.
No! Is it 22.5?
22.5.
I'm sticking with it. Spurs over.
Yeah, I think structurally, the professionalism that exists in the Spurs organization can lead to 7 wins. I think they will all show up and work hard. And in this year, for Pop late in his career, that means 3 or 4 games. So I'm going over.
It's possible everyone they drafted they're bad. It's possible
right.
all the little shooting guards they got are terrible, but who knows? Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
so over
I just
for
think
Chuck.
I think that team is just gonna try. And we said
I think you're siding with your Air Force man.
I will.
Yep.
I'll be the lone under. These guys invented the strategic 1-year tank.
They got
Timmy tank. It's time for the
Yep.
Wembanyama drama to take hold in San Antonio. I'll be the lone under.
All right.
Let's
Do you want to give us a number though?
I think I closed.
Do you have
my
one?
window. I think it's around 20, 22.
11?
I think I have around 20 wins.
6? Okay.
I wish.
All right. So you're the lone under. Our final team, yes, you're saying is the Jazz.
Yeah.
The Jazz are cutting competent NBA players.
What more do you need to know?
They, however, are starting. I'm going to do it. They're starting lineups that are sort of interesting.
Let's do it.
Like, you got Mike Conley in there.
Bad.
But he's not like 19 win team bad.
Maybe so.
You're starting maybe Olynyk and Vanderbilt and
I like
Markkanen. You can't tell Jared Vanderbilt not to try hard. He's going to try hard. Olynyk wants to get paid. He wants to put the ball in the bucket. You got Colin Sexton, who's going to be scoring tons of points. I don't know if that's good or bad for the team.
Seems bad.
Well,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with the Jazz.
Unless Walker Kessler is Bill Russell and Danny Ainge is assassinated from some grassy knoll, this is going to be a team that loses a ton of games.
So
purposefully.
I'm pretty sure I'm the over here. I don't think, even if they are cutting Stanley Johnson, even if they are cutting Jared Butler, they're going to have to cut more players to not accidentally beat the Spurs and to accidentally beat the Hornets on the second nights of back-to-backs. People have to come into Utah. They have to play at altitude. They're going to accidentally blind teams with their high-vis neon yellow jerseys. This Jazz team is going to be a juggernaut of 25 wins.
You are indeed an over. 24.5 is the number, Chuck.
I'm an artist.
I think Colin Sexton's going to try to score 30 a game.
Yes.
And he's
not losses.
He's not an inefficient player. So I think, yeah, I don't hate the roster, but it is the year to tank. And Danny Ainge has done this kind of thing before. I think they're going to go under. I think they might be flirting with 19 wins.
Yeah.
Hard under.
If the Thunder didn't exist and had not typified and turned this into such an art, I would think the Jazz would be safely the worst team in the NBA. But the Thunder exist, but I'm still going under.
All right.
I think I had them at 20. Yeah.
21. So I am out on my own a lot on the Western Conference. I did not see eye to eye with you guys. We only got 4 unanimous picks, which is kind of interesting. So here we go. Wrapping up the Western Conference, we went 2/3 over on the Mavericks, unanimous over on the Nuggets, 2/3 under on the Warriors, 2/3 under on the Rockets, 2/3 over on the Clippers, unanimous under on the Lakers, 2/3 under on the Grizzlies, 2/3 under on the Timberwolves, unanimous over on the Pelicans, unanimous under on the Thunder, 2/3 over on the Suns, 2/3 under on the Trailblazers, 2/3 over on the Kings, 2/3 over on the Spurs, which is awesome, 2/3 under on the Jazz. So that is, lock it in, some very accurate picks. Either I will do great or you guys will do great. Both of us will not do great. Par fadeaway. What things are we looking forward to in the coming week? What are you looking forward to, Chuck?
Basketball. I'm sorry.
4 weeks in a row. You're looking forward to basketball.
I love basketball. There's good basketball, but I also wanted to watch the Redeem Team documentary. That was something I wanted to mention last week, but I forgot. So yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I can't wait to see it. The Kobe story of running through Paul Gasol is tremendous. And yeah, basketball too.
Basketball also. John, what are you looking forward to?
So I'm like gonna be in Laker Town for the foreseeable future. So I'm looking forward to soaking in the I want to get the zeitgeist of, can the Clippers like sell more tickets than the Lakers this year? Can we see a shift? I'm gonna test the waters, guys. I'm gonna ask the hard question. I'm gonna go to the man on the street. And there's a lot of men on the street in LA, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to testing waters, seeing what the feel is out there in Los Angeles. I'll report back. I'll do my diligence.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to watching my Utah Jazz play this season. They have a interesting combination of players, and I'm excited to see how they will.
Is this a Walker Kessler Auburn thing? What's going on?
I even forgot Walker Kessler was on that team. I'm excited to see what Walker Kessler looks like because I'm not even sure I've seen a picture of him.
I stare at him on my waiver wire.
I heard he looks like Cherokee Parks. I heard he looks just like the coach. No, there's so many teams out there. I'm excited to see what they're going to look like. Also, we have a Grizzlies watch party in Nashville this Friday night, October 21st, as the Grizzlies place the new look Houston Rockets, a team that I think is going to be very fun to watch, at least for a while. I don't want it. It's a team I don't want the Grizzlies to face earlier in the year. I want to face them late in the year. But anyways, we'll have a watch party at Noble's Beer Hall at 7:00 in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be giving away Grizzlies prizes. So if you're anywhere near the area, come on out and do that. So I'm excited, guys. I love doing the over-unders. I'm excited the season starts on Tuesday night, and I look forward to, as Chuck says, basketball. It's here. Anyways, if you want to support our show, do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You want to follow us on Twitter, follow Chuck, the mighty Chuck, John, Master John Berry. You can follow me at Fastbreak. All right. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing